prepare to get teary. Because today is my 11th anniversary. The day when I have my BooBop1987 channel. That's for sure. Well, anyway, hi ladies and dudes. This is Rebecca Lynn Barkley, aka BooBop1987. This is my review for today. And today, prepare to get teary-eyed. Today is that very special day. Today is my 11th anniversary. The day when I have my channel. After my old one is gone forever. Yep. This has been a long journey. A very long journey. And yes, ladies and dudes, I do have a brand new video for all of you. I'm going to do a brand new top 5 list that nobody has never done before. It has something to do with movie scenes that will bring you into tears. Big time. So for my top 5 list of the day is the top 10 best movie scenes that will bring me into tears. So many movie scenes that blew me away from start to finish. Something that will make you happy, something that will make you sad, something that will make your heart so darn warm for a very good reason. Some parts that will break your heart for a very important reason. Or something that will blow you away. Big time. Hard for me to say about it. So, without further ado, ladies and dudes, here are my top 5 best movie scenes that I ever loved the best that will bring me into tears. And yes, I do have a couple of honorable mentions for all of you. I got Wolverine's death from Wolverine, Ray's death from Princess and the Frog, Pocahontas saying goodbye to John Smith from Pocahontas, and the near ending from A Monster's Calls. So those are my honorable mentions of which great movie scenes that did bring me into tears. And now let's head on to the top 5 best. Coming at number 5 goes to Brian and Kim's breakdown moment from Taken 2. I'll never forget when I was about to cry in that scene in the movie when I first saw it in the movie theaters. There was a moment where Brian and Kim had shared a breakdown for the very first time in a damaged taxi car. It was a very good heart-to-heart moment between father and daughter. And there was a moment where Kim is going to cry is because that her mother is not there with them after they escape from those evil Propoya dudes. And Brian did the best he could to comfort her and to shelter her as soon as he can. And he'll do his best to find a way to save Lenny in time and make sure she'll be unharmed. And she won't die from the wrath of the evil Propoya dudes. My favorite emotional scene ever that came from in a Taken film. And also, the best part I love about that scene in the movie is the score. I love that score so darn much, and it's a sad shame it wasn't there in the soundtrack. That's for sure. So yep, Brian Kim's heartbreaking moment. It deserves to be at number 5. Coming at number 4 goes to one of the most sweetest moments I have ever seen that came from Hayao Miyazaki's most greatest film ever called Spirited Away. And that is Chihiro and Haku's most sweetest moment that took place in the sky from Spirited Away. I did remember this scene pretty well, and there was a couple of times it did bring me to a tear to my eye. It's a moment where Chihiro is talking to Haku and she's trying to get her memories back for what she remembers when she was so young. She went to this unknown river and she was about to drown. She was trying to get her shoe back, but then somebody had rescued her and took her back into shore, safe and sound. And she realized it was Haku who's the one who saved her life. And also she began to remember that Haku's real name is Tokohaku River. And he is some type of river spirit for all this time. And I will never forget that moment when Haku turned back into his human form and you see his eyes finally cleared up for the first time. There was a little bit of romance moment between those two kids, and Chihiro has a happy, tearful face in her eyes. It's just very sweet, very romantic. It'll warm up your heart, big time. So that's the reason why it deserves to be at number 4. Coming at number 3 goes to, I will say it's kind of tragic, but it's also a character who's trying to do the rightful thing of saving a young one from almost being there to death. So for number 3 is when Nausicaa is trying to save a baby bug's life from almost bleeding to death from Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. Now this scene right here really hits me hard, and it brought me tears to my eyes. It was one of the most tragic scenes I have ever seen in a Miyazaki film, and the very first film that started all for the Studio Ghibli career. There was a part where it looks like that Nausicaa was almost about to die. Oh well, all I know is that she had a bleeding shoulder, and also she had one of the wounds on her foot. It feels like she's ready to die, but barely, I guess. She was so darn heartbroken to see a poor bug that's bleeding to death, and this poor baby bug is angry for some unknown reason, and it wants to go back to its family. But Nausicaa already found out the truth that that little baby is heading to the wrong direction, and she's trying to stop that little thing as soon as she can. She doesn't want that poor thing to die. And when the baby stops, the red eyes has gone forever and turned back into blue. And it was being so kind to Nausicaa. Yeah. It's hard for me to say about that great scene in the movie. That was very darn heartbreaking to see, but at least she's trying to do the rightful thing. So that's why it has to be at number 3. Coming at number 2, I was about to put the Wolverine's death for number 2, but I have no idea what the heck I want to say for the number 2 spot, so I decided to change it. So anyway, for number 2 goes to Tarzan saying goodbye to his 8th mother from Tarzan. Now here's a great scene that hits you hard, big time. It's after the events when Tarzan was trying to protect the humans away from Kerjak. After that had ended, Tarzan wanted to apologize for Kerjak for what he did, and Kerjak was so darn mad at him for some no reason that he's not doing his job seriously of protecting the 8th family, and he believes that Tarzan had betrayed them all. And Tarzan had no idea what to do at this point. And thanks to Kala, Kala decided to tell Tarzan the truth of where the heck he was coming from and why is he here at the first place in the jungle. Yep, Kala took Tarzan to that tree house, and Tarzan looked around to that tree house and he began to remember little things here and there that came from in his past. Even the part of the picture of his real mother and father. And Kala did say, Tarzan, I just want you to be happy, whatever you decide. Yeah, that was really heartbreaking. I'll never forget that end of the scene in the film where Tarzan finally going to wear his father's suit for the first and last time in the movie. And I'll never forget that heartbreaking moment when he says to his ape mother, wherever I go, you will always be my mother. And Kala says to him back, and you will always be in my heart. And also, Sally, her heart's about to break. That's for sure. And also, the best thing I love about that scene in the movie is truly the score. I love that score so darn much. One of the best scores I ever heard in a great Disney film. Since Disney is losing its magic anyway, thanks to that stupid Disney Plus. Well, if you guys get the picture. I just want the old Disney classic back that involves real pure magic for films. If you know what I mean. So, that's why it has to be at number 2. And finally, the number 1 best movie scene that I ever loved in movie history that did bring me into tears are the 2 best scenes I ever cared about that came from one of the best anime movies of all time called Belle. And I can't tell which one I like the best. And I really love these 2 scenes so darn much. So for number 1 goes to Lend Me Your Voice or Million Miles Away from Belle. I was so darn blown away with those 2 scenes in the movie, and it was so darn mind-blowing to me, and it did bring me into tears. And I really love Kylie's voice for both of these wonderful songs. It was emotional, it was epic, it was powerful, and so darn mind-blowing. For Lend Me Your Voice, it's truly one of the most sweetest songs I have ever heard, and one of the best adaptations I have ever seen for Beauty and the Beast in the anime version. And I love the part where Belle and Beast began to dance at the ballroom. It was just the sweetest thing I ever seen in my whole entire life, and I love the part where Belle begins to smile and she's starting to feel kind of happy that she wants the Beast to be happy. And there was a moment where they did dance in the sky and Belle was about to give Beast the kiss, but he was too shy about it, so she decided to just give him a hug. It was just the sweetest thing I have ever seen in movie history. Something that will bring to a tear to my eye. And also for A Million Miles Away, I love the part where Suzu, she put so much bravery and so much courage, you know, to go out there to the U world and show her real face to everybody. And she sang that song, Million Miles Away. It was definitely the most powerful scene I have ever seen in movie history. That brought me into tears in my eyes. But my favorite part in that scene in the movie is truly at the end where Belle returns and she is with that big giant whale that has those sound boxes wherever they are. I just love the part where she put her heart and soul out to sing the last parts of the song. Very darn mind-blowing. And also, ladies and dudes, please pay attention to this ending part of the song where they decided to add 2 hidden Easter eggs that came from one scene in the movie. Something that came from Dragon Ball Z and the other that came from Spider-Man 2. I can't tell you what those hidden Easter eggs are, but you gotta see it for yourselves. So anyway, Lend Me Your Voice or Million Miles Away deserves to be my #1 most favorite movie scenes of all time that brought me tears to my eyes. So anyway, that's my top 5 most favorite scenes I ever cared about that gives me tears to my eyes from one of my favorite films of all time. So tell me, ladies and dudes, what is your favorite movie scenes of all time that brings you to a tear to your eye? It doesn't matter if it's happy, sad, something emotional, powerful, epic, whatever. Whichever it is, leave a comment there and let me know. And also, wish me a happy 11th anniversary, the day when I have this wonderful channel. And it's starting to become so darn underrated. That's for sure. So anyway, that is it for now. And I'll see you guys later. And sayonara!